Good morning and greetings to Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, heads of state. Your Excellency Colline Makosso, Prime Minister and Head of Government. Your Excellency Arlette Soudan Nonalt, Minister of Environment and the Congo Basin. Members of international organizations, members of governments, ladies and gentlemen of the diplomatic corps, distinguished guests. It is a privilege to be gathered here in Brazzaville for this important summit. I want to personally thank His Excellency President Sassou Nguesso for his leadership in not only maintaining responsible stewardship of the Republic of Congo's own forests, which cover more than 2/3 of the country's landmass, but in convening this distinguished group of counterparts to catalyze action and attention on the world's 3 most important critical tropical forest ecosystems, and to elevate a common agenda for the 3 forest basins. As we all work to tackle the planetary crisis of climate and biodiversity, there is a global consensus that we have no chance of success without conserving, restoring, and sustainably managing forests. As President Sassou eloquently stated in the note that preceded this summit, forests are the lungs of the planet, global regulators of carbon balance, and guardians of biodiversity. The relevant scientific authorities, IPCC and IPBES, are unequivocal. Halting and reversing forest loss globally is critical not only for achieving our climate and biodiversity goals, but for the sustainable development of hundreds of millions of people worldwide as well. As forests continue to be destroyed or degraded and ecosystems reach tipping points, political leaders are confronting this reality and the urgent need for action. At COP26 in Glasgow, leaders representing over 90% of the world's forests committed to the ambitious goal of halting and reversing deforestation and land degradation by 2030. At COP27 in Sharm el-Sheikh, the United States, along with 27 other countries, helped to establish the Forest and Climate Leaders Partnership as a key platform to drive global progress on that 2030 commitment. As we approach the 1-year anniversary of the Forest and Climate Leaders Partnership, it is clear that the leadership vision and knowledge of tropical forest countries is fundamental to shared success. But the Forest and Climate Leaders Partnership is just one effort among many driving ambitious action to support our forests. After yesterday's set of technical sessions, it is clear that there are forest and climate leaders around the world who are working every day to make sure that the next generation and those that follow live in a world where forests and the communities who depend on them are thriving. President Biden, since day 1 in office, has made tackling the climate crisis an essential part of his domestic and international agenda, and instructed the federal government, the whole federal government, to develop a strategy for supporting global action on forests. This plan to conserve global forests, the first of its kind for the US government, highlights the critical importance of the tropical forest basins of the Amazon, Congo, and Southeast Asia, and identifies actions to incentivize forest and ecosystem conservation and forest landscape restoration, catalyze private investment and finance to conserve critical carbon sinks, build long-term capacity and overseas partners, and help increase global ambition to set and achieve strong climate and forest goals. And of course, our support for global forest ecosystems goes back much more than 2 years. The United States has long-standing partnerships with governments in the major tropical forests in Africa, South America, and Southeast Asia. In the Congo Basin, our Central African Regional Program for the Environment, better known as CARPE, has been operating in the region since 1995 for nearly 30 years and has invested nearly $700 million over this period to help countries in the Congo River Basin sustainably manage, conserve, and protect their unique tropical forest ecosystems. And we are increasing our pace of support to over $50 million for CARPE this year. The United States government has long supported programs to combat illegal deforestation, support indigenous peoples and develop sustainable enterprises throughout the Amazon basin. In Southeast Asia, we have deep cooperation on forest management, biodiversity conservation, land use planning, and combating nature crimes like wildlife trafficking. I applaud President Sassou for convening the summit, elevating the voice of tropical forest countries, and inviting the United States and other partners to listen and engage in dialogue with governments, civil society, indigenous peoples, and the private sector. Thank you again, Your Excellencies and distinguished guests, for the opportunity to be here to participate in this timely and essential discussion. And I couldn't agree more with the call for action, action, action. Thank you.